Well, folks, to paraphrase Anita Bryant, a show without Ezra is like a day without sunshine, and I am going to deny you no longer. Here is the big boss man himself, Mr. Levant, to give us an update on a very important lawsuit. How you doing, Ezra?
Great, David. Thanks so much for filling in today with the show. I had to excuse myself because I had a legal proceeding, and I did it from the office here via Zoom, as so many legal proceedings are done these days. And that's why I wasn't available. So thanks for filling in. I just wanted to tell our viewers what I was doing, because I believe it's important, not just legally, but I think that there's a moral purpose to it. We filed a lawsuit, me and Sheila Gunn Reid, against two Liberal cabinet ministers a couple years ago. One is Stephen Guilbeault. He used to be the Heritage Minister in charge of censorship. Now he's the Environment Minister, a bit of a radical. As you know, he was in fact convicted of a crime for sort of his eco-criminality. Catherine McKenna used to be the Environment Minister. She's actually retired from politics, so we've dropped the lawsuit against her. But I'm proceeding against Stephen Guilbeault, and here's what we're suing over. As you know, politicians can have a private social media account, Facebook page, Twitter page, whatever, and that's their own business. But members of the government also have a government public social media account. For example, Joe Biden, the President of the United States, he has the social media account POTUS, P-O-T-U-S, President of the United States. And when he's done being president, the next president will have that same Twitter handle. So it's a public Twitter handle. Stephen Guilbeault, and before him, Catherine McKenna, has blocked me, and I think Rebel News, I have to check, from following his public government account on Twitter. Just like Catherine McKenna did the same to Sheila Gunn Reid. And here's why that's important. I'm not interested in Stephen Guilbeault's personal life. I'm not interested in his private thoughts on things. I don't care. But when he has a Twitter account run by public servants using taxpayers' money as a way to communicate with the public about the issues of the day, and I'm a taxpayer and I'm a citizen and I'm a voter, and I am personally blocked from hearing what the Ministry of the Environment has to say, and before that, when he was the Minister of Censorship, that's a kind of cancel culture. It's a kind of deplatforming. And what else? What other services can they withhold from me because they don't like my politics? So he's using a government account, but banning people he doesn't like from getting press releases in the public interest, announcements in the public interest, or being able to engage in a debate with thousands of other people about, in this case, environmental issues. So we are suing Stephen Guilbeault, not over anything personal, but the fact that he has decided to cut off, cancel, and deplatform people that he personally doesn't like from getting government services. And I'm sorry, that's the wrong way to go. That's cronyism. That's running the country as if it's your personal fiefdom. And that's where I was today instead of doing the show.
And Ezra, obviously, Guilbeault and the rest of the Trudeau Liberals, they don't like us. In fact, I think their hatred for us is visceral. But has Mr. Guilbeault ever given an official reason why he has cut you off?
You know, he has filed what's called so we filed a lawsuit. It's not called a statement of claim. I forget the legal term. But you can see it for yourself. So he has written a reply, and he's basically saying, you know, suck it up, Buttercup. Like he's digging it. Like you would think that he would just say, all right, fine, I'll unblock you.
Yeah.
And if he doesn't want to hear from me, there's something on Twitter called mute. I don't know if you know what that is. So you can block someone. That means they can never see what you have to say, never engage with you. Or you can use what's called mute, and it's just what it sounds like. I could still read what he has to say, but he would never see or hear from me. It would be like on a TV remote control mute button. He would just be. So if he didn't like my criticism of him, and that's fine, I'm pretty critical, he could just mute me and he'll never even hear it for the rest of his life. But he has chosen to block me to deny me access to his government service. So if you want to see his defense, go to twitterlawsuit.ca. And here's what's so crazy about that. I don't have my notes with me, but there were, I think, 5 lawyers on the government side today. 5 lawyers. Maybe there was 4. It was at least 4. Maybe. And I don't know how much this Zoom hearing cost the government today, because if it was his personal lawsuit, why isn't he paying for his lawyers personally? It's obviously not. It's a government account, government lawyers, and that shows how much contempt Guilbeault has for taxpayers. Yeah. Instead of just unblocking me or muting me, he's spending hundreds of thousands of dollars saying, no, I have the right to blacklist any citizen I don't like. And I'm not saying that the services he's giving through his Twitter account are akin to like a hospital service or a school. But if he can block me from one government service, why can't he block me from others? And we've seen this in the Trudeau government. Their attestation, you had to sign that you agreed with Trudeau on social policy, or you wouldn't get a summer jobs grant for your company. So this is an important battle, and it's an important legal battle, and I want to set the precedent that politicians cannot blacklist you from government services because they don't like you.
No, I totally agree with that. And I think, Ezra, that, I didn't see the court proceedings of today, but I would say that if Guilbeault is saying words along the lines of suck it up, buttercup, if he's showing a complete lack of contrition, this is a gift to you. I think if I'm a judge, I'm looking at this as almost like bargaining in bad faith.
Yeah. It just shows the stubbornness. And these folks, it was quite something for Stephen Guilbeault, literally a criminal convict.
Yes.
In cabinet last month saying, oh, these truckers, their protest, is improper. You are a convicted criminal for your eco-terrorism, and you're telling peaceful truckers that they're unacceptable. And my point for mentioning that is the left, they don't care if they're hypocrites.
Yeah.
I think some other people would feel shy. If you're literally a convicted criminal, you probably would feel shy about calling a peaceful trucker names just because he's honking his horn. But the left, they're not bothered by conscience. So Guilbeault will literally do anything and say anything to attack his enemies. So of course he's not going to be reasonable. Of course he's not going to say, all right, fine, I'll let you. He's going to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars because he wants to set the opposite precedent.
Yeah.
He wants to set the precedent that he can ban, silence, crush anyone. And the fact that he actually himself is of odious moral character, that doesn't bother him. Wow. He's loving it. He's going to get as much as he can. And Catherine McKenna was the same way. Yeah. The only reason we dropped the lawsuit against her is because the lawsuit was dragging on so long, she left politics.
Yeah, these cats can't even wait for Bill C-11 to get passed, can they, Ezra? One last question. Is there any kind of legal precedent, Ezra, of an elected official anywhere in the world who decided that I'm going to block this person, I'm going to block this constituent, I'm going to block this reporter, and a judge overturned that blockage?
It's a great question. I think that Jim Watson, the mayor of Ottawa, did, but after a lawsuit he settled, by which I think he just said, all right, this is crazy, I'm just going to unblock the guy. Okay. I'd have to double check that. I don't have that fresh in my memory, but you have to be a wasteful dictator to say, not only am I going to hold the line and block, I'm so petty, but I'm going to spend hundreds of thousands of taxpayers. So, it takes that special sociopath I described earlier. Mayor Jim Watson, whatever you think of him, he wasn't going to torch $250,000 just because he didn't like some guy on Twitter.
Yeah.
Stephen Guilbeault has no such compunction.
Unbelievable. Well, there you have it, folks. The war on, free speech, freedom of expression, it just continues. I only know of one person that's blocked me on Twitter. It's sneaky Mayor Patrick Brown of Brampton. Golly, I wonder why. Keep it here. More of the Ezra Levant Show to come right after this.
That's an excerpt from my daily show, The Ezra Levant Show. Every day I do a monologue on the news of the day, then I interview an interesting guest, and then I read my hate mail. You gotta subscribe. Go to rebelnews.com.